Thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen, for that very, very, very warm welcome. My fellow Americans, my fellow Republicans, I am honored to be with you this evening. I'm especially honored to be here with the distinguished Americans that you have just heard from. President Gerald Ford, a man who at a time of national despair brought dignity and respect back to the presidency. And with President George Bush, who took us through the end of the Cold War and the defeat of communism. George Bush, the statesman, George Bush, the statesman and my boss, who led us to a great victory in the Persian Gulf War. And especially with Mrs. Nancy Reagan, who has so movingly represented Ronald Reagan here tonight. President Reagan, President Reagan, I know, is in our prayers. President Reagan, the great communicator who gave voice and image to the power of democracy as the way to a better future for all the people of the world. He will be remembered for many things, but for me, this soldier, and for soldiers like Scott O'Grady you heard a few moments ago, the one thing that we will remember more than anything else is that it was President Reagan who restored the fighting strength and spirit of America's armed forces. I come before you this evening as a retired soldier, a fellow citizen who has lived the American dream to the fullest, as someone who believes in that dream and wants that dream to become reality for every American. My parents came to this country as immigrants over 70 years ago. They came here, as had millions of others, with nothing but hope, a willingness to work hard, and a desire to use the opportunities given them by their new land, a land which they came to love with all their hearts. They found work that enabled them to raise a family, work that allowed them to come home every Friday night with the fruits of their labor, a decent wage that brought sustenance and, more importantly, brought dignity into our home. They raised two children to whom they gave a precious gift, a set of core beliefs, a value system founded on a clear understanding of the difference between right and wrong, and a belief in the Almighty.